Hey guys, I'm Mezzy and welcome to this quick start guide for Mythic Grim Batol. Grim Batol has been reworked and is one of the old expansion dungeons joining the Mythic Plus dungeon pool in the War Within Season 1. Before we get to the bosses, let's cover the bombing run because it's been changed. The Drake will now only cover the trash up to the first boss and now has 2 abilities. The first ability on one has just 5 charges and will do the most damage to the trash. The second ability only does a little. You want to make sure to save some of your 5 charges for the last 3-4 packs before the first boss. The first boss is General Umbriss and has 3 abilities. When Commanding Roar is cast, you'll take damage and 3 lines of shadow will form on the floor. Run to the section that doesn't have shadow so that you don't take damage from the dragon flyover. When you get the rock spike circle, move away from others and try to drop the puddle away from the group. These puddles don't go away. And lastly, the Tank Buster Skull Splitter will put a stacking bleed on the tank, so definitely use a cooldown. The second boss is Forgemaster Throngus and will cycle through 3 weapons. Every ability will leave behind fire on the floor that doesn't go away, so use the space wisely. Whenever he switches and forges a new weapon, use a personal cooldown to reduce the AoE damage you take. When he uses the axe, stand to the side of the room. If he faces you with fiery cleave, move out of the way so you're not hit by the cleave. When he uses the swords, the tank will take big hits from Molten Flurry and he'll put dots on the group. If you have an arrow on your head, move to the edge of the room to drop the fire puddle off to the side. And lastly, when he uses the Molten Mace, the tank will need to kite the boss. Every step the boss takes drops a puddle, so kite him next to other puddles or the edge of the room. The next boss is Drahga Shadowburner and is a 2-phase encounter. In phase 1, interrupt Shadow Flame Bolt. Slow, stun and kill the ad that spawns from invocation of Shadow Flame. If you get targeted by the ad, don't let it reach you. If it does, the entire group takes a huge amount of damage. Healers, if you can, dispel the Curse of Entropy. If you can't, you'll need to heal it off the target. Phase 2 starts when Drahga reaches 1 health. Valiona will spawn and add new abilities to the mix. When Twilight Buffet is cast, use a personal cooldown. You'll be knocked back and fire tornadoes will spawn that you need to avoid. Ads will continue to spawn and will now spawn 2 at a time. Crowd control the second ad so you can kill them 1 at a time. And lastly, move out of the direction Valiona is facing when she casts the Devouring Flame Cone. The last boss is Erudax, the Duke of Below. Use a personal cooldown when the Void Surge AoE is cast and don't touch the tentacles that spawn. They'll stun you if you touch them. You can use immunities like Bubble and Turtle to clean some of them up. Shadow Gale works somewhat differently than it used to. When this is cast, a void circle will slowly converge onto the room. You have to run towards the direction that the circle is collapsing on. You'll end up having a small circle of safe space where you'll have to deal with the next mechanic. Abyssal Corruption will put a circle on 3 players. Spread out within the small circle of space you have remaining and make sure no one is standing in your circle. And when Void Infusion is cast, kill the ads that spawn before the cycle of abilities repeats all over again. Lastly, tanks use a personal cooldown for the Tank Buster Crush, and don't have your back face towards the tentacles because you'll be knocked back. And that's all you need to know for the Grim Batol bosses. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe and share it with others. I would very much appreciate it as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. You can also follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at twitter.com/bbmezzy and twitch.tv/bbmezzy. For now, I'm Mezzy and I'll see you again next time.